Hello and welcome to the Nickelhouse Flight Simulator, Golf Simulator tutorial. This is what you will see when you open the simulator. There is an instruction window, which you can simply exit by clicking OK. And here is the main window of the simulator. Here you can change the distance to the hole, the wind speed, and the direction of the wind by typing them in. Very simple to use. Here you can choose your club, swing power, and swing direction. As you can see, golf ball does not have a purely parabolic arc. It is rather more, it kind of curves up a little bit and then drops down a little bit more suddenly. This is a unique feature of golf balls and can also often be used to your advantage. Let's say we did the same conditions with a 9-iron. Here's where the simulator really shines. It actually simulates the angle that would be imparted to the ball from the club. As you golfers will know, a 9-iron is much more angled than a driver. This results in a higher initial angle. Also, it imparts a higher spin, which leads to a higher flight height, and this leads to a more narrow and high trajectory, which can often be used to your advantage. Now, say we added some wind to this equation. Maybe 5 meters a second, not that much, coming from the east, and we just took our driver at 50% power and just whacked that ball. You'll notice the wind kind of affects it. Here you'll also notice this is not a perfectly continuous simulation. It does it in steps. This is because it doesn't go very high and will be alleviated once we enable bouncing and rolling feature later. However, this is totally accurate. Now, say we had a higher wind speed and we use, say, maybe a 5-iron. You can try to angle it into the wind. Very simply done. Let's try maybe 45 degrees, and you can see 50%. That didn't really go very far. Let's try it 100%, and 45 degrees is maybe a bit much to angle it into the wind. Normally you want to angle it into the wind to counteract the force of the wind throughout the thread of the ball. However, it appears that we overcorrected, and that is way off course. Let's try a 300-meter hole. Wind speed of, let's just go for 50 meters a second, coming directly from the west. And if we took, say, a driver, swing power 100%, and let's say we put it at 85 degrees into the wind, that's pretty high. We swung, looks like it doesn't really go that far. Yep, I would not recommend golfing in conditions with 50 meters a second wind. That's kind of harsh. Now, let's just take, say, a normal hole, and let's clear this. Next hole. Here you can see it actually calculates the par for the hole based upon the golfing standards, based upon the distance to the hole. This counts the number of strokes. 17 might seem a little high. I've been doing this for a little bit. So, 191 meters to the hole, 8 meters per second to wind towards us, 166 degrees, yeah, towards us right there. As I said, let's take our driver and let's do 5 degrees to the west. And let's enable this bouncing and rolling. Very good feature. As you can see, got that, comes down, and it initially bounces back. Yeah, it bounces right backwards due to that wind. Very interesting feature. Click advance the ball. That'll bring you right to that 150 meters. Recalculate the distance to the hole. Recalculate the direction of the wind based upon the resting place of the ball, and you can continue your flight, your course right here. Now, so we take a 3-wood at maybe 70%. Same 5 degrees off. Overshoot the hole by a little bit. Does kind of roll back a bit though because of that wind. Wind is not very good. Let's try this once more. You can see we're counting up the strokes over here. Let's go for 3 wood. Maybe 7 degrees into. Let's try for a 40% power. Not quite enough angle. And it went right past there. As you can see, I'm not a very good golfer, but you can get plenty of practice with this simulator. Let's just take a putter. Go for, say, 100% straight towards that hole. Let's see what happens here. See, the putter stays close to the ground. It's not as affected by that wind. In fact, it actually brings that down to 0. Advance to the ball, and let's see if we can get it right in the hole. Shot right past it. See, if it goes too fast, it will just shoot right past that hole, and it will not go in. Let's try it this way, maybe. Oh, still too fast. My goodness. Let's go for this one. And right there, you sunk it. Great. At this point, you can feel that you can move to the next hole. Although at really 5 or 6 is probably just best to click the next ball button and then the next hole button and move to the next hole. Now, let me demonstrate some other features of this simulator. Let's say you have a 250 meter distance to the hole, wind speed is 0, and the wind direction 0 degrees, although wind speed is 0 doesn't really matter that much. Let's just hit this with a driver. And let me show you some more of the features of this simulator. So expensive golf ball down here, it's not enabled right now. Usually expensive golf balls have a better cover, like a urethane cover, which allows for more spin. This, as you can see, leads to an actual higher loft and a further distance of travel. Conversely, if you were to take, say, this spin decay, normally golf balls don't continue spinning the same speed because that energy is being put into lifting the ball. So a 4 to 5% decrease is common across the course of the flight, and as you can see here, it does lead to a slight decrease in the overall loft and in the travel of the ball. We also have another interesting feature over here. This is called Enable Anti-Gravity, and this is a little interesting. I'm going to switch to a 9-iron for this. It's a little bit, or maybe a wedge for this. It's a little bit more obvious if you do it that way. Contrary to what you might believe, the golf ball does not just go off into space. Enabling anti-gravity does not remove the atmosphere, and since the lift force always acts perpendicular to the direction of travel, you'll see right here, it actually just goes around in this spiral shape, which is very interesting aerodynamics. If you ever get the opportunity to hit a golf ball in a environment without gravity but air, I totally recommend it. Great fun. So, we're going to take off that anti-gravity. Now, let me just, right here, it'll bring you through 18 different holes, and I'm just going to go quickly through these. You'll see it generates some 3-par holes, some 4-par holes, and some 5-par holes. And then right at the end, if you click that again, it brings up this window, which is unfortunately by the others. Here we go. And it shows you total strokes. So 67 strokes, 67 hits, that's quite a workout. 2 under par. This is not the same for this game, this is one before. There were 2 holes in 1, 3 eagles, 2 birdies, 4 bogeys, 3 double bogeys, and 1 triple bogey, which is not that bad of a game. 2 under par, not bad. And so yeah, hitting that brings that up, and then it zeroes it out and brings you right for the next game. If at any point you desire to review the instructions, you can hit this help button over here, which will bring up this help screen again. The instructions, distance, hole, wind speed, just a refresher course. And that is it for this simulator. I hope you have a great time and you fully enjoy this simulator to the best of its capabilities.